In this session, I am going to take you through the dashboard that I have developed for Amazon sellers, especially for Canada and US, so that you can use the data that you have in your reports to find out how your store is doing, how much you are making, and how much you are paying Amazon as a different type of fee. In this example, you can see that my data is showing for Amazon Canada, where I have selected for my store, which is currently not that functional. The date range you can select between 2015, I believe, to 2030. You have a quite a good amount of time frame. And then from here, you can select your marketplace. Looks like based on the data that I have, I've got 812 units sold, total orders of 793. This is the gross sale. And again, this is all from the local currency, which would be Canadian dollar. And this is the FBA fee, this is the selling fee, this is the PPC, which is currently inclusive of all the marketplace. And this was my total COGS based on the product cost that I have defined, and the cost of shipping to Amazon warehouse based on the per unit product cost that I have defined. So that's why it's estimated. Based on these, I have got the deposits, which is termed as transfer in the report. And also you can see that profit is calculated based on taking away all the fee as well as the COGS and the all of. I think it does not include the FBA long-term inventory fee, but other than that, everything else is included in calculating the profit and loss, and this is your percentage of profit and loss. This is your main dashboard, and you can see how much credits you have received based on the shipping credits, gift wrap, and other things. I have not got those refunds. And also if there are any taxes or anything else that you have been charged for, you can see these numbers and reach out to Amazon, ask the question why this particular charge has been placed on your account. Now, I've also put one simple view of monthly views of the sponsored and total sales. If you are running a lot of sponsored ads, maybe it would be applicable to you. But it's just maybe in later phases, if you want, I can add more details on what kind of reports you're looking for. Also, in this one, you can see that there are top 10 SKUs for sales by quantity. You can see that these are the ones which are top selling. You can focus on the ones which are selling the most. And also here you can see that the percent of expenses, how much expense you are like paying and how much percent each expense in terms of the total cost of sales. So you can see that the FBA fee seems to be higher. Usually it is 15%, but it is showing 33%. Maybe we need to check why it is showing that high. Is it the calculation? But at least from US, it is showing close to 15%. Also the selling fee and the other fee, you can see that expenses. Also, if you have a lot of refund or a lot of returns, then you can track it over here. It will show you how much money was total refunded to the customer, which SKUs are having a lot of refunds. That based on that, you can take action. This is the most applicable for people who are running their business on Amazon and they do not have a way to understand how much they are making and how much they're paying. I think this will definitely help them in tracking those big ticket items or big expenses. And in order to get to this point, there are certain steps that you need to follow, and those steps are not very extensive. They're very simple steps. I'll show you in this tutorial. The steps involved here is first download the template named as AMZ Seller Book template. And once you have downloaded this, you need to create two separate folders in your PC or Mac, whatever you're using. And you can give a name as either unified transaction or anything that you feel best. At least have two different folders, one to store all the transaction files, CSV files from Amazon, and the other one for all the sponsored ad reports. And I will show you exactly which reports I'm expecting here. Next is to copy the folder location and put it into the parameter section. I will show you later. And then you still need to perform a few data cleanup, which I will show. And again, I have put that videos, but I will also show in this presentation. And then finally, once you're done with that, you can click on the data refresh and you should be good. But before that, there is one more setting that you need to perform in order to make a relationship between your SKUs, your ASIN, and your product master. In the product master, I will show you in the next few sessions. All right. The other steps are, once you have downloaded the report and put the master data, you just need to go to the data and the refresh all button to refresh the data into your template. So it will read the data coming from the files that you have provided. And that report should display all the information. You can use the sliders to select your date range, and also you can use the marketplace to see the data for a specific marketplace. And again, if you have any question, feel free to send me an email or send me a note on Etsy if you are downloading this from Etsy. All right, this is the first report I'm expecting to get from Amazon US. If you go to the report section under payments, you will get to this page where it will ask you to generate a report. Click over here, then it will ask you a pop-up to submit a date range. Maybe I'm recording this in the month of September 2020. You need to have a custom date range. So if you want to do it for till the end of September for 2022, select the start date and the end date and click on generate. And same way you can do for the historical transactions as well. I have tested this till 2016 and this works well. Then once you have downloaded the report, put it into your this folder, whatever name you give it, but make sure that this is consistent. Give that name and place all the reports in that folder. And once this is done, sorry, this is for the transactions, you can put that into the unified transaction. And once that is done, it will look like this, and you can put all the transaction data for both US as Canada into the same folder, just to make sure that you differentiate the nomenclature, that next time when you want to see, you can easily identify whether it belongs to USA or it belongs to Canada. And you can give any nomenclature, it's up to you, but again, be consistent in the naming so that you understand exactly which date range this report is for. And then there is some data cleanup that might be needed, that will be needed, especially for US. This is one of the data which that under marketplace, there is a name called amazon.com, but it's not there for each and every type of transaction. So for maybe for orders, you will find it here, but for transfers or for any other transaction type, you will not see that marketplace name. That's why you need to copy this and paste it across the whole number of lines. If you have 200 lines, you need to copy this data to all the lines. And once you are done, save it and you should be okay with this. Now for Canada, there are little additional data cleanup needed. One is you need to identify, again, the same thing. You need to place this data in all the records, all the lines for amazon.ca, and make sure you have this consistency, because I've seen sometimes they use Amazon with lowercase a and Amazon with uppercase a. In order to have consistency, let's put amazon.ca with uppercase a. And also I've seen that in some of their reports, the date is little different. The month, especially for September, they use SEPT instead of SEP, and the query that I have built together does not recognize that as a date range. You need to change that SEPT to SEP by using the find and replace function in Excel. Again, it's just use Control F button to invoke the find, and then once you select and enter SEPT, then select replace all to SEP, and just make sure that you do it just for this date time column, not anywhere else. All right, one more thing for Canada especially you need to do is add an extra column between marketplace and fulfillment type, because this column is missing here, and in order to have data in the unified table, you need to have the same columns. You need to add this column, but you don't have to add any details beneath that. Just add this column called account type and make sure that we follow the same case sensitivity, because this is case sensitive. So you put account type exactly as it is seen over here. And once you have done for all the Canada files, save it and just leave it there. Okay, now coming back to the parameter section of this file where you have the parameters defined. In this parameter for unified transaction, just provide the location where you have placed your file. I have placed in this section. I have mentioned that. Okay, read the system or the process will read the data directly for all the transactions from here. And similarly for sponsored ads, if you have provided the sponsored ads, it will read it from there. And then once that is done, you need to go to the product master tab and add your child and the parent SKU details. And so once those details are provided, you just need to go and data tab and click on refresh all to refresh and see your data like this. You can go to data menu, click on refresh all, it will refresh your data, and then you can use the sliders to check the data based on your marketplace. Either you can use amazon.com or amazon.ca and you can select the date range. It will change, all this data will change based on the selection criteria. Okay, this way you will get one-stop view of everything that is happening to your business. You will know how much you are making, how much you are losing, or where you need to put your attention to. Okay, there are certain things that this report does not do, and I just wanted to call this out, that it does not convert any currency between USD and CAD. Suppose if you have removed all the filters, it will show the total number of units sold, total number of gross sales, but that number may not be correct, especially the sales, because for Canada it will be in Canadian dollar, for US it will be in US dollar. The conversion does not happen and it will add up together. I think it's better to see these data separately rather than as a combined data. But at least the number of units will be the same. The only thing that will differ is on the cost. Next is the PPC data is also not segregated by marketplace. What I mean by that is the PPC report does not have any column for marketplace. So that's why we are not able to separate it, but there is a way to do that. If you add a column for marketplace in both the reports and then put amazon.com or amazon.ca, if you do that, then in that case we will be able to use this. But right now the report is not built to differentiate the PPC spend based on the marketplace. So it will pick everything that is there for both the marketplaces together into this. Next is the COGS data, which is taken from the master data. It cannot track any historical changes. That means if you have a COGS of $5 today and in next 5 months your supplier has reduced the price and it has become $4, then it cannot keep track of, okay, 5 months back it was $5, now it is $4, let me change the profitability. I think that kind of feature is not there. And also the monthly views over here, that it has aggregated everything, but this is complete aggregation. It does not do for just 1 year like 2018 or 2019 or 2020. It's all the months aggregated together. It's better to see, if you are looking for a date range, select 1 year, and then based on that you can see the monthly view of how much you are spending, how much you are selling based on the PPC data that you have got. And this is the place you download the sponsored product search report from Amazon ads report. And once you have downloaded, just make sure that your date range do not overlap, otherwise you may get a duplicate data. Once you download that report, put it into your report section of the folders, and then once you are done, you should be good to refresh the data. This is all you need to set up your data and the files in order to get your analysis or the dashboard. If you see that I'm selecting amazon.com, then it will fetch the data for this marketplace and change it accordingly. If I select different years or the number of months from this slider, it will show me data based on that date range only. And you can see that everything changes accordingly. The tracker, total sales by SKU, refund, returns, everything changes based on the data that you have selected for that time frame. If I remove this, it will show me for each and every month that I have provided the data for. And similarly, if I just do for 1 month, then it will show me whatever sales or orders or fee that I have done for that month. It will show me data for that month. Depending on how much data you have, it should be able to show you all the details. And I do not see there is any limitation on the number of records. So if you have like too many sales, as long as the Excel is able to handle it, you should be able to see them into this dashboard. And you can use this data to report your income, report your expenses. It's directly based on what Amazon has provided you. You don't need to spend time on segregating your expenses. And if you want to add your own expenses on top of what you have, what you can do is use the existing transactions data, and you can add lines for your own expenses and then save it in the database. That way your personal expenses or the expenses that has not been handled by Amazon, then you can add those expenses on your own. That will show up over here under different head. Let me know if you have any question, and if you have any data discrepancy that you see, I'll be able to figure out and find out if there is something that needs to be changed in this report. But prima facie, this report at least looks good to me, to give me a better view of my expenses and my income on this platform. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day.